Hello everyone. Hello new subscribers. Welcome to my channel. Today is July 27th, 2020. And I'm just making this video to say hello to everyone new because I've got almost 100 new subscribers because of a video that was put out by another YouTuber. So I just want to introduce myself a little bit, tell you a little bit about me, tell you a little bit about what I do, and also tell you a little bit about the video that was posted about me. A little bit of background of that story. So let me get started. My name is Fixed Image here on YouTube. I do paranormal investigations, but I do them kind of in my own way. I never was big on using big equipment or a lot of stuff like that because, you know, I never thought I would ever gain any big subscribers or any big numbers or anything on any of my videos. And, you know, a big camera, you know, even if it was just like $300, $400, which just wasn't in my budget at the time. And, but I still wanted to film, I still wanted to explore, and I still wanted to at least have a video to show people, even if it wasn't the best quality, best sound, best camera work. So what I would do is I would just go out and just start filming. Now originally I started this YouTube channel about 5 years ago in 2015. Back then it was more of just a sports card channel. I would open sports cards and stuff. That was another hobby of mine, but I was always intrigued by the paranormal and exploring the paranormal. I went down to Point Lookout for my first actual exploring video. And I didn't really know what to do because, yeah, there's always this chance when you go somewhere haunted that something could happen, but there's not really a guarantee. So what I did was I walked around and kind of just gave a history lesson to the place. You know, said here was where this happened, here was where this happened. And to my surprise, I actually got some voices on the camera. I didn't hear them in person. They showed up in the video. People heard them. I didn't have really any subscribers back then, but anyone that passed through the channel would, you know, comment, "Hey, I heard this, I heard that." Like, cool. So I realized then that you could most likely capture some decent EVPs just on this camera. So I would go down to Point Lookout a lot. Now for me, the challenge was always there weren't really a lot of places you could go and investigate and be alone, and, you know, there were definitely not a lot of places you could be at night. So for me, it's like, where do I go? You know, I don't want to just go to mystery places, but I actually want to explore. Not only do I want to explore, but I want to have some legends in mind of the paranormal, have read some things about the place. I want to also be kind of alone. I don't want a lot of people around, because if you go somewhere that's a big tourist place, you know, you can't do your own investigation. I mean, you can do a video kind of saying, here's this place, but you can't do it. You can't investigate the paranormal because there's just too many people around. So that's also something I had to always keep in mind. So Point Lookout State Park. Here's the video that everyone is here from. So Point Lookout State Park can be crowded. It can be. In the summer, it has a beach. People go down there, and it can be crowded. People fish down there. This was a July day in 2018, so 2 years ago. I just gotten off work. I worked a night shift at the time. Point Lookout was about an hour away from my house, so it was in the region still that I lived in, but it wasn't like really close. But something just made me want to drive down there. It was a hot, humid summer day, a weekday. They were calling for thunderstorms, so there would be times where it would get cloudy, and it wasn't that day. It got sunny, cloudy, when I was down there. I just said, I'm going down there to see if I can feel anything. Now, the best place to try to capture activity at Point Lookout is the lighthouse. But unfortunately, the lighthouse is locked up, has barbed wire fence around it. You can only go inside on certain days with certain, you know, when the group that runs it and operates it opens it up for the public. And You can also do paranormal night investigations down there. It's like, well, you pay $50. They aren't currently doing it because they're renovating the lighthouse, but you used to be able to pay $50 and reserve a spot, and just go inside and hang out till like 2 a.m. or something and see if you could capture anything. But anyways, if you can't get in the lighthouse, the next best spot in the park is Fort Lincoln and where the prison pen used to be. Now, Point Lookout was a Civil War POW camp for Southerners, for Confederates. So it was a pretty cramped prison. There was a lot of death. It was an outdoor prison with tents. So in this area I was walking in, it was part of the prison pen, and then it went to the Fort Lincoln. Now, Fort Lincoln was a Union fort that was built kind of to keep tabs on the prison and also keep tabs on a raid from Virginia or anything like that. So I was not facing the Chesapeake Bay, like he said in the video. I was facing the Potomac River. The Chesapeake Bay was on the other side of the park. But yeah, I go back to the fort, and I notice in the right-hand corner a door's cracked open. Now, these forts are accessible to people. It's more like you can go in and look around. It has little signs that tells you what it was like. This is a reconstruction of what the original fort was like. The walls were originally a lot higher, and these were the remains of what they found when they discovered the fort again. And then they just built little buildings, bunkers, cabins, whatever you want to call them, kind of to just demonstrate what it would have kind of looked like. So I noticed the door was open on the cabin. And people are allowed to go back there and go in, but usually the doors are always shut after they leave. They're not usually cracked like that. I didn't think much of it, but it just was weird to me. And also, I was reading some things online, like, before I went there, like, in the weeks before I went there this time. And I saw a comment, someone said, yeah, I went back there one night, because, like, you can camp at Point Lookout. I walked back there and saw this tall figure and all the doors opened up. So, I mean, that kind of was always in the back of my mind. Wow, the doors open up sometimes? And just thought that was a cool thing. So I walked back there and I instantly feel just this energy. And it's not really me being scared. It's just the energy. I've been back there many other times alone, and I never feel that energy, I feel it sometimes, but it's not every time. When you feel that energy, it feels like there's something watching you. There's something right there. And when you're ghost hunting or doing paranormal investigations alone, that's the worst feeling ever, when you're alone. Now, back then, I would always try to tell people about what I was trying to do, paranormal investigations, explore, and try to get them to come along with me. But a lot of times people just weren't interested, or they just didn't have the schedule, to come along with me. So, nowadays I can have people with me. There's a lot of people that want to go investigate with me. But back then I was pretty much alone, which I never really want to be alone, just because I want to be with someone all the time for documentation purposes, and also for reasons like this, because when you feel that threatening energy, that terrifying energy from a spirit, it really, if you're alone, it really drains you. It really puts you on edge. It's a really creepy feeling. So, I'm going in the fort, and I just feel like something's like in my back of my mind saying, don't come any closer, don't come any closer, I don't want you in here, get away. And, I don't know what this is. I mean, looking back at it, I know it was probably just a spirit. I don't think it was demonic or anything like that. But it wasn't happy I was walking around, or it didn't want me around there, because it didn't give me a easy, peaceful feeling. I record outside for a little bit by the water. It's hot out. There's no one in the cabin, no one at all. And I probably spent about 40 minutes outside the area, just kind of documenting it, trying to do an EVP session. I look behind me and I think I see like a shadow walk by really weirdly, but it's gone before I can notice it with the full frame of the video. But I document that I saw something. So then I start walking in and I feel heavy, and I'm just like, I need to take a breath. It's kind of like a suffocating feel too. Take a breath, build myself back up. Instantly when I walk out of that fort, I feel fine. So I'm going in, I'm just going to try to document whatever's in here. So my initial goal is to go in every fort, because you can go in every fort. So when I walk in, I'm looking towards the left. I'm going to go in the left-hand one first, And then after I go in there and just look around, I'm going to go to the one with the door cracked. So I have my camera pointed towards the left because that's where my intention was to go. And I'm walking, and in the corner of my eye, I just see the right-hand door cracked open. And I'm like, what? That just feels weird. Like, I don't know what it was. But it was just like cracked open like it was the whole day, the same length it was. And I'm just like in the corner of my eye looking at it, like feeling like someone's watching me through it. And then I just, in the corner of my eyes, I just see the doorknob turn. And the door just shut, and I turn the camera like this. I'm like, what? And the initial reaction is like, kind of like a suffocating feel, like get out, get out. So I leave, try to collect myself because the air is just so thick in there and it's just so crazy. And you know, I realized I dropped my phone, so I had to go back and get my phone. It was in my pocket. So when I walked back in, I'm kind of in the back of my mind for some reason thinking, because you can't see the flat ground from the outside of the fort because of how the hills are, I was somehow thinking I was going to see a figure standing there, like not happy, like a very, it could have, I just felt like there was going to be something very mean, evil looking standing right there, like, what are you doing? I want you out of here. But when I came back, there was no figure, but I looked at the door, and the door was open again, but more than it was before it closed, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. Now, in this area, I was thinking in the back of my mind, this is where I caught a woman's voice and a man's voice in my last video on camera. I really wasn't even trying to communicate with anybody. It just kind of popped up in the video. So, and that area of the park has some legends for spirits and everything. It was pretty creepy. And I went back to the park and I tried to collect myself. And there really wasn't anyone around. And so I drove my car because it's kind of far from that point to the park all the way to the tip of the park where the lighthouse was. And there was someone down there. And we started talking. I don't know what we started talking about, just random stuff. And I said, yeah, I just saw something happen up there at the fort. I saw a door close and open, and it was creepy. They're like, well, a while back, we were walking back there, and we saw some figure in raggedy clothes walking by, and he just disappeared into thin air, like a Civil War soldier. And that was pretty cool to hear. I mean, that area tend to has a lot of activity, but that's my side of the story of Point Lookout. Now, again, that was 2 years ago. It was kind of early on in my paranormal exploration, investigation videos, you know. It was early on in that time period, so that wasn't the best skill. I was alone. I like to be with at least one person now. I mean, since then, I've done a lot of videos all over the place. I've done Gettysburg at night. I've done Queen Mary out in California. I've done Old House Woods Road. I've done a lot of places since then. So, you know, I now see that I'm starting to gain an audience, so I definitely want to get out more and do more things. The key is for me right now, find more places around that I can go to and actually be at. I want to do more night investigations, so, you know, find places where I'm actually legally allowed to be at night, and I won't be, you know, around crowds of people, because I want to do my own investigations, you know, without strangers around. You know, if I have a team of 3 people, I want us to just be able to do our own investigation and not have to worry about interference from other people. So that's pretty much where I am. If any of you happen to live in the southern central PA, Baltimore, DC area, Maryland, I mean Virginia, and you want to investigate with me one night, one weekend, one place, do you have any suggestions? I mean, I'll be more than welcome to have you or take your suggestions. And, you know, the key here is just to explore the paranormal more. People may not always like what we do, you know, because like I said, when you go to a haunted place, not every time you go there something's going to happen. You know, you could go to a place that's said to be extremely haunted. You could go there 99 times and nothing at all ever happens. Nothing weird, but the 100th time you go there, something crazy happens and you're like, oh my gosh, it was haunted. That's why so many people don't believe in ghosts. It's because of that. You know, they go somewhere that people say is haunted and they're like, I stayed there 5 times and nothing ever happened. That place ain't haunted. You guys are just making up stuff. There ain't no ghosts, you know, that type of thing. So, you know, I don't why I don't make fake videos. You know, if nothing happens, nothing happens. I'm not going to sit here and try to make it look like something happened that didn't happen. You know, if so some videos may be a little boring because if nothing happens, nothing happens. I mean, you know, there are some YouTubers, I'm not going to say any names, but these guys literally, they claim they make paranormal videos, like they'll be like exploring this haunted house in the woods. I'm going to tell you straight up, they're not real. They're scripted. These guys, most of them started with like prank videos, prank tour videos, prank stuff, you know, like they were prank people and they got views. And that was the fad to get them big back then. And then it became paranormal. And, well, you can't have a paranormal video and get big views and big money without having stuff happen every time, crazy stuff. So these guys would have friends and they would script things out and they would tape it as if it's really happening. You know, like, oh my gosh, something just threw something at me. Something just fell on me. You know, stuff like that. And they're not real. They're not real. These, you know, if you have a paranormal channel that's having crazy stuff happen, like every video, and they're saying exploring the haunted ship, you know, in the water, and it has like a screenshot with the guy covering his mouth with his hand and some copy paste image behind it as a screenshot, they're not real. I mean, they can be entertaining. Yeah, these guys created those stuff, but they're not real. If you want the real paranormal, it's going to be stuff that, like voices sometimes, and sometimes you'll see things move, sometimes you'll feel things, sometimes you'll see things, but it's not going to be every time. And when it doesn't happen, you got to have something to do. So that's why I try to go places you can also explore and look around, so that way if nothing happens, at least you get to explore a little bit and get a history lesson or something, you know. But if something does happen, then great, we call it paranormal evidence. So yeah, guys, that's just a little bit about myself. Thanks for checking out my channel. I mean, obviously, if I see that people are actually wanting to watch my content and stuff, you know, I'll definitely want to look into getting a better camera and some better equipment, because I know I can make better videos. You see, last week I just passed 100 subscribers. I've been on YouTube for 5 years, so I never took it too serious. You know, I have a full-time job. You know, I have to focus on that, and you know, I just, for YouTube it was just fun for me, you know. But now that I see I'm starting to get more subscribers and more people actually want to watch my stuff and see where I go and see what I do, I'm definitely intrigued to do better for you guys and make better content and get out there more. And yeah, if you guys got any suggestions, leave them below. And thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you stay a while. Until next time, it's Fixed Image saying peace.